We're living our truth now. Crystal, what?
Krista who?
Christadelphian?
Did you say Christian Dolphin? So are you from Philadelphia?
Welcome to the Life After Leaving podcast, an ex-Christadelphian podcast. Hello, everyone. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that there are some sensitive topics in today's episode, including references to domestic violence, coercive rape, postpartum depression, and suicidal ideation. As always, feel free to skip over that section of this podcast or skip this episode if that would cause distress to you to hear about those situations. However, I believe that healing often occurs when we tell and share our stories, so I hope ex-Christadelphians feel empowered by sharing their stories on this podcast and that anyone who is struggling with trauma is seeking the support they need. Thank you. Hello, heathens, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Zinnia. Today's guest is Beck. Thank you for joining us today, Beck.
Thank you for having me.
So today I'd like to hear your story of becoming an ex-Christadelphian. So I'd like to go through what your experience was like as a Christadelphian, what the process of leaving looked like for you, where you're at now in life, and anything you'd want to share with people who may be going through a similar journey. So before we get started, could you first share what region of the world you're in and how long it's been since you left the Christadelphians?
I am in Sydney, Australia, and it has been 4 to 5 years.
Okay. So let's get started with your experience as a Christadelphian. Were you born into the group?
Oh, absolutely. On my mum's side, I've worked out I'm 5th generation, and on my dad's side, a 4th generation.
All right, so another long-standing family.
Absolutely.
And then which subgroup of Christadelphians were you in?
So for Australia, there is the Logos and the Shield. I was born into the Logos side, so the more conservative.
We've had a lot of the Logos crew on here.
Yeah.
And then do people in your family have Bible names?
Well, my brother's name is Adam. So,
okay.
And then, 2 of my sisters do have biblical names, or kind of. There is a Debbie, short instead of Deborah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sharon.
Was there Sharon in the Bible?
I think it's a mountain.
Oh, Mount Sharon or something?
Sharon? Yeah.
That sounds more right, because I was like, I don't remember there being like a woman named Sharon. Okay.
No,
I'll have to
I think
double
it's a
check
mountain.
it then.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, mountains are beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. It could have been. Who knows? But yeah, then my other sister, she doesn't have a biblical name, so.
Okay, so it wasn't like a firm line that they said all of our kids have to have Bible names, but there was influence there. Okay.
Definitely, yeah. Her middle name's biblical. It's Ruth, so she did get in just
she just
bit.
fits a little bit.
Yeah,
Ruth is a strong classic name. Okay,
absolutely.
And then, if you're ready, let's start talking about your childhood being a Christadelphian. So feel free to tell us about your ecclesia, things that you remember, to start painting a picture of what it was like growing up in it, where you were.
So I grew up in a very traditional ecclesia. So it was the 90s. I'd probably say it's one of the more straight down the line, you don't waver ecclesias.
Okay.
Yeah. All the men had blue suits, white shirts.
The blue suit ecclesias, okay.
The blue suits ecclesia, yeah. All the women long to medium skirts, stockings, the whole kit caboodle.
Was it 24/7 or did you like own pants?
Oh no, I owned pants.
Okay.
My family were very for show. They were one of those families.
Okay.
We don't show people what we do on the inside of our house. Mm-hmm. Because if we did, we probably would have been disfellowshipped in the 90s.
Oh, this is going to be a fun story today. I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Let's hear the real story.
So the ecclesia, if you had a beard back in the 70s and 80s, I believe my grandfather told me that like the arranging brethren told someone they couldn't come in because they had a beard.
So they would just like turn them away at the door for facial hair?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it just beards that you remember, or like all facial hair? Like a goatee, would you be able to get in?
Hair. No, I think it was all facial hair. So yeah, they didn't They didn't like the John Thomas style
Right,
men.
that's the thing. That's the paradox of
Yeah,
it, is it was started by a man who loved his beard, proud of his beard, and his number
that's
two was
right.
like, oh, well, if he likes beards, I like beards.
And then when you die, I'm going to steal it.
And I'm going to just put it in my pocket over my breast and just
Yeah,
have you
that's
next to
right.
my heart.
Mm,
I'm sure it was like in a
absolutely.
locket or something. We still have yet to locate it.
Oh, I reckon it's somewhere. Yeah.
Someone's got to
If
have it.
Robert Roberts probably got buried with it.
So that's the other thing I wonder, if it was like his favorite memento.
He's like, no one's taking this from me. It's staying with me forever.
I don't know. There were some people that would take things from you when you're literally in your casket. So
Oh, that's right. There was the grave robbers. Yeah.
they could have, Robert Roberts snatched it at John Thomas's funeral. So like maybe someone wanted to swipe it off Robert Roberts at his funeral, kind of pass it on.
It's a family heirloom for the Roberts family now.
I want it to be so much. I want someone to be like, oh yeah, I was always wondering about this weird Victorian heirloom we had full of hair.
It's now framed on the family wall.
It's an ornament on their Christmas tree.
100%.
Anyways, I want to hear more of your stories. So blue suits, long skirts, but only when around people at ecclesial events, then I presume.
Absolutely. Sunday school outings, always had to wear a dress or a skirt. Even if we went bushwalking for a Sunday school outing, you still had to wear a skirt. No pants allowed.
Okay. See, that's what I was wondering, was if that overlapped into your regular life or if that was just all of the ecclesial stuff.
No, all the ecclesial stuff. Yeah. It was pretty ridiculous. Like, I do have photos that I found this morning from like an ecclesial group. It's just funny because it's taken outside of the ecclesia, and the public sign says God's 6,000-year-old promise affects you today.
Oh, look at that little group.
Yeah. But all the women in long skirts must have their hats on.
I see a lot of hats.
Yeah. Cannot go without the hat. So, yeah.
It's like they're all getting ready to take their Christmas photos, like for like portraits. That's what it looks like. Everyone's dressed to
Santa's
the nines.
Coming.
Every Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday it was always dressed to the nines. You couldn't look daggy at all. Mm-hmm. This is what my parents used to say. If you're going to like go before the Queen, you have to dress to the nines. So why can't you dress to the nines for God?
As your king.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to wear that.
Also, I have no intention of ever meeting a queen in my life, especially in America. That's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that was their reasoning to dress to the nines to go to church. I mean, the meeting. Oh, heaven forbid you say church.
But how do you know God chooses those outfits? How do you know, like, what if God has a favorite color and you're not wearing it? Like, what if he really likes yellow? Like, that seems pretty presumptuous. I don't know.
That's right. Exactly.
I mean, he liked all the men wearing long robes. So why are these men wearing suits? Go back to the robes of your ancestors, right? Look like Jesus. That seems like what God would want, right? Bible
Jesus
times.
Probably had a beard.
First century ecclesia stuff, right? That's what they always said. We're like the first century ecclesia. So dress like it. Come on. No belts.
Yeah.
I don't know about these zippers and stuff. That seems pretty fancy schmancy for God.
Yeah, that's a bit space aged.
So obviously you're going to church on the Sundays. Did you go to a lot of other stuff too? Did they do like the weekly evening classes and all that too?
Yeah, so there was a Bible class on a Wednesday and then a CYC on every second Friday. Mm-hmm. So you start off as a junior and then you move into the over 16s.
Okay. And then were you growing up in the public school system or did you go to any of the heritage colleges or anything like that?
So I started out as going to public school and then in 1999, so I was 9 years old, I was moved to the Heritage College in Sydney.
Ooh, okay. So
yeah. And I actually have a photo of my very first day.
Yeah. Look at that hat.
The hat says it all for me.
It's giving me a little bit of an Anne of Green Gables vibe.
Yeah, a little bit. And it's safe to say that hat did not last long in the school uniform roster. Not sure why. It was so fashionable.
I mean, it's cute. It keeps the sun out of your eyes. It's got a nice wide brim.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, you went all out. You got photos for me.
I did, yeah. So
Very
yeah,
cute.
I went to Heritage from year 3, I believe, right through to year 12.
Okay, so tell me about that. What did you think of public school and then the transition, and then what was Heritage like?
So because I left primary school at such a young age, I didn't really get that full experience of the public school. All
Mm-hmm.
I was told was, you're not going to public school anymore. We don't want you influenced by, all the
Those,
heathens,
yeah, all those worldly people.
all those worldly people who drink and do drugs and,
They're
you know,
10.
yeah, yeah. We want you on the straight and narrow, which, fool them.
Didn't work out.
Did not work out at all because I am not straight at all. So.
Even better. Wow.
Yeah, so then going to Heritage, it was very closed off from the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many people roughly were there your age?
So I was actually in a joint class. I even found this little photo of my class.
More photos. Okay.
So this was years 3 to 4. Like that's how many were in those.
It looks like you're in Catholic school. Wow, the uniform.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that, but okay.
So in my actual year.
Like maybe 8?
8. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And then right through high school, there was probably about 20 to 24. And then year 11 and 12 is where it just dropped off to 13. And for those years, there was only 4 girls in the class. That's it.
Well, I hope you guys got along because not a lot of options for friends there.
Yeah, that's right. So I actually have a lot of friends who were in the younger classes or in the older classes.
Oh, that stinks.
I had the one best friend in my year, right through school. But yeah, growing up in the ecclesia that I did, I found it very difficult to talk to people my own age because at the start of the 90s, there was a lot of children and then they eventually broke off and went to different ecclesias. So by the time I was 8 or 9, there was only 4 or 5 around my age.
And that's when you're getting more social.
Yeah, that's right. So I believe that had a lot of impact on making friends outside of the ecclesia, study weeks, Bible schools, even at school.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, your school kind of overlapped with all of the other stuff too, though.
Yeah,
because it was all
right.
Christadelphian.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a very strange experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like there was a little bit of that feeling of isolation in there too. Like it did sound like you had a best friend, which is great, and other people that you're friendly with, but there's a lot of rigidity in Christadelphia in general. Like we all have experienced the gender binaries, like boys there, girls there, and then also the age stuff where it's like, all right, this group is in the teen class, this group's in this class, this group's in this class. So it does make it harder when it's like you can't see them as much with the people that you naturally would get along with, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right. And then including in those groups, there's even smaller cliques. Mm-hmm. So there was one time my best friend, she had surgery or something and wasn't at school for a couple of weeks. So I thought, I'll go sit in with the other girls. What are you doing here? Oh, okay. I thought we were all friends.
Yeah, like we're
Clearly
all
not
here together. That's awkward.
Yeah. So that's where I kind of drew the line with that group of girls. And I was like, fine, won't hang out with you. I'll go down a couple classes, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I can talk to the younger ones. I can talk to the older ones. Does not bother me.
Mm-hmm. Were you guys all like mixed then, like for lunch and things like that?
Oh yeah, like all of the classes would be let out at the same time. So usually primary was let out first and then high school later, but yeah, it didn't matter. I went on a school bus every day with all these kids, so I could talk to someone in year 12, someone in kindergarten, it didn't matter.
All right, that makes sense. So at least during those like free times, there was a little bit of that. But yeah, that sounds awkward. I remember the cliques were absolutely brutal where I was too, so that seems to be very common. As much as I don't think it comes up a ton on the podcast, I definitely remember that and relate.
Yes. The cliques were extensive in Sydney. If you weren't in, you were never getting in.
Yeah. They're made like at birth, basically.
100%. It depends on your last name. It depends on your parents. It depends on which ecclesia you go to.
Yep.
And it's like, I have no control of this.
Yeah, you're basically just born into it, whether you're going to get
Yeah.
more status and fit into a group or not.
Yeah, exactly. I was definitely not in.
Oh, me
Yeah.
neither.
Yeah.
No. And like I said, the only positive was that it made it easier when it was time to leave.
Yeah. Looking back, I'm grateful I wasn't on the in,
Mm-hmm.
because what I did go through and what I had to deal with has made me into the person I am today. And I am
Mm-hmm.
very grateful for that. Yes, there's some trauma there, which I deal
Yeah.
with my
Yeah.
which I deal with my psychologist. But yeah, I'm very grateful I was not on the in.
Yeah. It leads you on a very different path. And the path gets us to where we
Absolutely.
are today. Yeah. So I know some people have said that at home, even though they were kind of in a conservative ecclesia, it was more relaxed at home. Was that your experience, or did you feel like you had a very conservative home setting as well?
It was a very relaxed home setting. There is a large age gap between myself and my siblings.
Okay.
So my siblings are a lot older than me, 10 to 18 years.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So I pretty much grew up as an only child most of my life.
That makes sense, because they're not really going to school with you and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Then they're hitting different milestones, like adult milestones.
Yeah, they're hitting their adult milestones by the time I hit puberty, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time I was 6, my brother got married and moved out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all 3 sisters got married consecutively straight after each other within a 3-year gap. So by the time I was 16, I was home alone.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it felt like with me being the youngest, when all of my siblings moved out, and I was like, oh, it's just me and my parents now. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And then even with the parents being home, my mum was always in her stowing room. My dad was always in his study. And I'm like, hey, I'm still here. Okay, I'll just go to my room and rearrange my furniture, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, even at home, growing up as a teenager, it was very lonely.
That makes sense, yeah. Without having a sibling close in age or a really engaged parent that was helping you make connections and stuff, or wanted to do a lot of things with you, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, I had more of a connection with my mother than my father. He was present but absent, if that makes sense. So I knew he was in the house, but he wasn't present.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was
Yeah.
Similar to my dad. He was either watching TV or asleep most of my childhood, it seemed like, when he was home and not working. Or working on an exhortation or something, because he's like, oh, I got to speak tomorrow. And I was like, all right, good luck.
Yeah. My father just lived in his study pretty much.
Yeah, got to learn about the Bible.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what were some of the positives for you about growing up Christadelphian, do you think?
Sorry for such a long pause, but I honestly
really long pause.
I'm like, I don't have any.
Okay.
I don't have anything positive about growing up as a Christadelphian.
That's fair. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm just curious. I do like to ask, because sometimes people find certain things carry into adulthood, or they had some sort of positive thing about their meeting or whatever. So I like to ask just to see. But
yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, such a long pause and nothing comes to mind. It's an utter blank.
Well, that means we're going to have an interesting episode, I'm sure, then.
100%.
So while we're still talking about your experience, do you want to tell me a bit about some of the Bible schools and things that you went to, weekends, some of the highlights, things people might recognize?
So the main Bible school in New South Wales is Rathmines. I know you've heard about that already.
Legendary. The barbed wire.
Yeah. The barbed wire concentration camp looking Bible school. Absolutely.
I'm horrified by this still, and I hate it, but it is legend.
Yeah. If you do Google it, it looks like a concentration camp from the outside.
Well, guess what I gotta do now?
So when I was growing up, 90s, early 1000s, all the buildings were white, cream colored, original.
Jesus is coming. Again, their favorite. Oh, the Elpis Israel house.
Yeah, and all the accommodation.
Is that what those like cell blocks are down there?
Yes, they look like jail blocks.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of a jail block vibe. Like,
yeah, absolutely. It's like high security. You're not getting out, but you're not getting in either.
It kind of looks like a low-income community, to be quite honest. I mean, there's some flowers in front of this one at least, but it's a little bleak. And then, yeah, just a lot of concrete and like asphalt.
Yeah. Lots of concrete, absolutely. On the bitumen that used to be the little pathways, I can't tell you how many times I did my toes and stuff.
Wait, girl, I think they updated the fencing, because if I go to the old photos where it's really sunny, I see barbed wire, but if I go to like another one where it looks like they're newer,
it's like
it looks like there's like a black fencing, but the lighting's different.
Yeah.
So I think it's different time periods. Oh, that's so weird. I'm going back and forth in time. Okay.
Yeah, the barbed wire was upgraded, I think, in the mid-2000s, for memory.
This is also like sketchy barbed wire. Like it's propped up with like supports.
The sticks?
Yeah, with like these little sticks. And they're bright red.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very sketchy back in the day.
Oh, it's very bad.
Yeah. But yeah, I always remember my mum saying to me about Bible school, with so many people there, it's the loneliest week of my life.
Wait, your mom said that?
My mum said that, yeah.
That's sad. Why is she going then? She's an adult.
She was going for the children. So my sisters, well, not my brother because he was married, but my sisters were in the teenage class. So, you know, they had friends there. They were very social. They were probably classified as part of the rebel group, I guess, because when I started to go into study weeks, they were like, hey, is this your sister? And I'm like, yeah, why? And they're like, oh, we've got to watch out for you. And I'm like, I am not like them at all. Okay. They are that end. I am this end.
That's what you thought.
Yeah.
Until you grew into that reputation, I'm sure.
Yeah, until I became it. Yeah. And now I'm even worse because, you know, I left. I'm gay. I have a girlfriend.
I see your shirt that you chose for today.
Oh, yes. Disappointments, all of you.
And it's Jesus saying that.
And it's Jesus saying that. So, yeah, that was carefully selected for today. So.
I had a feeling. Thank you. I'm honored.
Even the mug. Yep, woke up gay again.
Perfect.
But yeah, I do remember my mum saying that Bible school was the loneliest week of her life.
That's sad, but also reflective of like a hard but real reality.
Yeah, and as a kid, you don't really understand that because you're like, I've got so many friends. What do you mean? Yeah. And, you know, there'd be 300, 400, maybe even 500 back in the day before, you know, fire safety at this place. So it wasn't until I started going to study weeks, age 16, that I was like, yeah, wow, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm put in this room with all girls from interstate who obviously have their own clique. And I'm like, I don't even know how to talk to you.
Yeah, because if you're not in a group, like if someone had never been a Christadelphian and you try attending a Christadelphian event, unless you have like a friend to go with you and drag you around and introduce you who is very popular, it's probably going to be rough. And you're like, don't know where to sit. You don't know where to fit in. People like turn away from you to talk to other people when you sit next to them. Like very awkward.
Yeah, it is very awkward. Yeah, that week was hard, especially for personal reasons. My mum had been diagnosed with breast cancer that year as well. So at 16, being sent away to study week and being like, oh my God, my mum's got breast cancer. She needs me at home.
Yeah.
She didn't need me at home. She was fine. What's a 16-year-old going to do, honestly? But at the time, it was like the end of the world. I didn't want to be there. And then, you know, halfway through the week, you're like, yeah, this is cool. I've made a couple friends. Yeah. And then by the end of the week, it's like, man, I'm so ready to go home. I'm so tired. I need to sleep for a week.
Well, that's the thing. They tend to be really packed schedules where it's like early breakfast, classes, activities, sports, choir, evening program, devotion. And then it's like, okay, you can finally go to bed. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like I do have great memories from all of my study weeks. I did go to 5, I realized, because they were every second year. So yeah, I did start from 16 and 2014 was my last one.
Okay.
By far the best, but that's because it was on a subject that I had been studying for years.
What was that?
I was like, it was on Abraham and Sarah. And I'd been studying Sarah and the 7 barren women for like 3 years already. So I was like already up to date. I knew what Abraham was about. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to crush this. Yeah, by far that was the best one.
Okay, makes sense if you're
Yeah.
excited about what you were learning.
Yeah. But yeah, I do have great memories from study week. So I'm not saying it's all bad, but it's very lonely if you don't have friends there or if you find it hard to make friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that, especially people who are coming from smaller ecclesias where they may not have other people from their ecclesia going that they're more comfortable with, things like that. That definitely makes sense. But it's kind of sad to hear that even with the older generation who has been in it longer to potentially know more people, that they would be experiencing that as well.
Yeah. But I did find out later that my mother, for some reasons I found out not long before she died, was very excluded from things.
Aww.
Yeah. So
Why? Can I ask now that she's dead? So it's not like we have to embarrass her.
Well, yeah, she's dead. She don't care. Also, there may be a few death jokes about my mother because, according to my psychologist, that's all about healing. So it's quite normal. So if
That's okay. I've got friends with dead dads, and it's the same thing.
Yeah. So if someone listening is offended, I am sorry, but that's just my healing journey. So yeah, back before she met my father, something happened to her, which has been spoken about in other episodes, and she ended up pregnant. Yeah, at the age of 17, 18, I believe. Yeah, and she had twin boys that were born at 24 weeks. So, you know, a young, like 1970s unmarried mother, very frowned upon. And she said to me not long before she died, I remember hearing them cry. So, like, from 1970 right up until 2016, she believed that they were alive. But she was always told, no, they died. So, unsolved mystery for our family.
I will say I have heard of some communities where they would tell them they died and then like sell the kids and like adopt them out to people who they deem more appropriate. I thought it was like I had read something in the New York Times like a year or two ago that covered it for one group of people, I remember.
Yeah, in Sydney, that was a very big thing in the 70s, where unwed mothers' babies would be adopted out. And then the mother wouldn't be told about it. They'd just be like, oh, that child died.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was a real thing that happened. So if I can find a resource, I'll link it because I know they're trying to get more coverage, and some people have tried to find their parent or their child and stuff in adulthood, and sometimes it's been so long that they aren't able to, you know, but there are efforts.
Yeah, so because she was told that they died, there is actually a grave for the twins.
But they didn't give her bodies?
Not that she ever saw.
What the fuck?
So yeah, she never saw these bodies. That's right. Yeah. So I have been to the grave before, and it's got this dingy little metal name plaque, and it says Mark and Simon, and the date of birth and date of death.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, finding that out when you're 26 is like, why didn't you ever tell me this before? Like, it's like she felt shame for what happened to her.
Honestly, shame is hard to talk about, and especially during earlier time periods, like even like just post-internet, I don't think people realize how big of a shift we have had that we've grown up into. But I still remember just being young, growing up around the same time that you did, and it was different. Like I remember, like it was before Me Too. It was before a lot of conversations and terms were in the lexicon. So I think it would have been a lot harder for her to do that and to seek help. Like there's a lot more stigma around therapy. Like all of those 100%. Sorts of things, I think, are interlinked. So
yeah, that's a big thing that stayed with her, because I remember her sitting on the bed with this little box. It had a teddy bear on it. And she would just sit there, and then if anyone came into the bedroom, she'd quickly close it. And it wasn't till not long before she died, I found this box, and I was like, oh, what's in here? I opened it, and I'm like, who the hell are Mark and Simon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. which actually, I have to say, I found out about them from her father. So my
Interesting.
grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just had my daughter, and then he's like, oh, maybe you'll have twins next time. I'm like, why would I have twins?
And then you realize he's like, oh, it runs in the
And
family. And you're like, what?
yeah, that's how that conversation went. And I'm like, Mum never had twins. There's only 5 of us. And he's like, no, before Adam, your mother had twins. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Where the hell are they? And then you
then
you hear the story and you're like, oh my God.
So he was in a nursing home. He must have been lucid because he was telling the truth. I thought he was just telling a story. Drove straight back to hers. I'm like, where's their birth certificates? And that's where we found the box. So yeah, that's that little story, little nugget of history.
Family lore.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense then that she was carrying that pain all that time through her time in the Christadelphians, and you didn't even realize.
I didn't even know that she was so ostracized for this. Like, even when I brought it up to one of my friends at the time, she's like, oh yeah, I knew your mum had twins. I'm like, but you're younger than I am. How did you know this? And she's like, oh yeah, my grandmother told my mother and my mother told me. And I'm like,
the gossip never stopped.
The Christadelphian grapevine, my goodness.
Wow.
So yeah, that was wild. Yeah. And then all of my siblings came, and then me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it explains a lot as to why she felt so lonely in Christadelphia.
Yeah. And it proves that it was well warranted, potentially, if she was feeling paranoid that people were talking about her, because clearly they were.
Clearly they were.
Yeah.
Their lives are so boring that they have to talk about others. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, there's nothing else for them to talk about. They're all locked in a room together. They're like, all right, I guess let's talk about each other. That's the only context we know each other in, is who we know in common. They're like, you know so-and-so? Yeah, they're related to so-and-so. And it's just a lot of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even my dad said to me one day, this older brother at a different ecclesia, because my dad came from Adelaide originally.
Okay.
And came over, met my mom, fell in love, apparently.
As it happens, yeah.
As that happens. It wasn't even the flirt to convert. It was just flirt to different state.
Yeah. Lucky them. Easier that way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And this brother said to my dad, oh, watch out for her. She's a troublemaker.
A long, proud lineage.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, the trouble never stopped with that family.
No,
clearly.
Apparently these women, these are all harbingers of destruction, I would say.
Absolutely proud to be one. Absolutely proud. And he's like, oh yeah, this brother so-and-so told me to watch out for your mother because she's a, what did I say?
Harlot?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. She's a troublemaker, don't watch out for her. And then, 9 months later, they got married. So...
Locked it down.
Absolutely. Praise Jesus. Thank you. thank you for getting married and producing this fine specimen.
There you go. Good comes out of everything.
That's right.
So I think we're ready to start chatting baptism. So do you want to tell me then? I presume you were baptized since you were in it until you were at least in your 20s. Was that the case?
Yes, I was baptized at the age of 17, so 2007. Okay. So this was just after my mum getting diagnosed with breast cancer and seeing how sick she was for the year and a half. So my choice to get baptized came around mid-2007. I was at a Daughters of Zion weekend. So for those who don't know, that's a girls-only camp in the Christadelphians.
Is it led by women or is it men giving the talks?
Funnily enough, it was the Heritage College school principal who did the talks.
Ew. Like, I don't know him personally, so don't take that personally if that guy's listening, but I don't know you, but ew.
He was actually one of my favorite teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, but
for a women's weekend, I feel like
but for a women's weekend,
let the women have one fucking thing.
Let us have something. But
we have nothing of our own.
We have nothing. That's right. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. But yeah, I was sitting there one day and it was about Proverbs, I think, and something just clicked in my brain, and I'm like, if I don't get baptized, my mum's going to die. I'm never going to
Oh
see her
no.
again. Yeah, it was so fear-based. And I'm like, my
Yeah, that doesn't
grandparents are
sound
so,
healthy.
yeah, like, because I'm the youngest of my family, my grandparents were already in their
They're older, yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like I had like no time with my grandparents being the youngest too, compared to my
yeah,
siblings and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, yeah, they're already in their 80s. My parents were, I want to say, in their 60s, 50s,
Hmm.
60s,
Yeah, they're on the older side for a parent. Yeah.
they're boomers. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, mum's sick. If she dies, I'm never going to see her again. So all this fear in a 17-year-old is just like anxiety ridden. I'm like, I have to get baptized. So I didn't even tell my parents that I'd made this decision. I went to
Hmm.
school on the Monday. I walked up to the school principal and I said, I want to get baptized. I want you to take me through all the first principles. Like,
Hmm.
and it wasn't until I got home and mum's like, hey, I've just had a call from the school. And the principal's being like, hey, just so you know, Bex asked me to do this. And she's like, what the hell are you thinking? And I'm like, but isn't this a good choice?
Yeah, I'm 17 too. Like that's pretty typical
Like,
age for it.
and she's like, have you thought about it? I'm like, yeah, I thought about it over the weekend. I've decided.
Also, you've put me in a heritage college where it's all I'm around all the time are baptized Christadelphians.
Yeah, Monday to Sunday, I am with Christadelphians. Like,
Yeah, isn't this what you wanted for me? That's isn't that the whole point? Put me in public schools then, and stop bringing me to meeting if you don't want it.
yeah, you didn't want me to be around worldly people. You wanted me to be surrounded my entire life by Christadelphians. Like, is this not the choice you wanted for me?
You should be
Um,
happy. Confused.
yeah,
Okay.
but it's because I didn't talk to them first and tell them that I
Mm.
wanted to do it. It was,
Well, I
wait,
think
what? She's never
yeah.
mentioned this.
For probably most people, they go to their parents first, but most people don't go to the heritage college, so that might be where it
Yeah,
becomes a little bit more ambiguous.
yeah. So yeah, I do remember going up to him and I'm like, hey, you're going to do this for me. And he's like, what?
So, how did your classes go?
So at school, we had 4 different periods, like classes. And then in my free time, that's when I would do it.
Okay, that's good then. So, you already have the time
Yeah.
built into your schedule, kind of.
Yeah. So I didn't have to go to his house or he didn't have to come to my house or whatever. We just met at school in his office.
There were no other
Yeah.
students doing it at the same time, though. It was just you for that time.
Yeah. It was just me,
Okay.
which was fine. And then December 2nd rolled along, which, hey, it's nearly my birthday. So, yeah, December 2nd comes along and I'm like, today's the day. So I wanted my brother to do the talk for me. And he's like, oh, no, I can do the exhort in the morning, but maybe get someone else to do the talk. And I was so
What?
deflated from
What
that.
the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah. So he actually did the exhort in the morning. And then the school principal who took me through did the
Okay.
talk.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I actually still have a recording of that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, in the afternoon, you know, I've got this bikini on underneath, so, you know, no one knew. But then this white, heavy, long sleeve dress on, which I do have photos on Facebook. It's under My Cult Baptism. Yeah, I was actually sharing photos of it this morning with some friends, and I'm like, look at this. I'm about to talk about this.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're not a cult, but you have to wear this long sleeve, white, heavy
You had like a robe,
dress.
right?
It was a dress.
So ours was just like being in a giant towel that's 20 sizes too big.
Oh no, this was so heavy.
I remember it
Yeah.
was heavy because it absorbed all the water. It was
Yes.
like the towel material, so it like weighs you down when you're in the water.
Yeah, it did.
And there's so much material to absorb all of the liquid.
And it's like, I just feel 80 kilos heavier. I cannot stand
Oh,
up
yeah.
out of this tub. Yeah.
You would think
So-
you'd feel lighter with your sins forgiven, but instead you're just weighed down by the rope.
Yeah. Your sins have been cleansed, but you're being weighed down by this heavy ass robe.
Yes, by the culture of the Christadelphians weighing you down.
Absolutely. So yeah, at the ecclesia I grew up in, the tub was actually under the platform.
Oh, one of those, so they had to like lift up the lid thing?
Yeah. They had to lift
Okay.
lift up the floor, fill the tub, which was all pipe connected, so you know, warm water went in
Convenient.
there. It wasn't cold.
Nice. Okay.
Like why couldn't it be cold? It's summer, and summer in Australia is like 40 degrees Celsius. So I think that's like 105 for you guys, roughly.
Yeah, we had searched it, I think, during Kate's episode. I think we had looked it
Yeah.
up. So at least 100. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does get quite hot. And yeah, I remember getting in and just sitting there like I was so excited, had this big smile on my face. Yes, I'm pledging my life to Jesus and God. Like, I have to say, the only good thing about my baptism at the time was 6 months later, my grandmother died.
So she got to see it.
She got to see it. So she's seen my brother, my 3 sisters, and myself get baptized.
Yeah. For a Christadelphian older parent or grandparent, that usually means a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So for that aspect, that's the only good thing that came out of me being baptized.
Yeah.
But I do remember as everyone was leaving the baptism, one of the girls says to me, "So have you sinned yet?"
What a bitch.
I'm like, I literally just got out of the tub. Can you give me a minute?
Do you want me to? I can help you with that.
I can. Like, what do you want? Like me to actually do something, or do you want me to think of something? Because give me a minute.
So you came out of the water. You're now one with Christ, your spiritual husband or whatever. What kind of head covering do you inaugurate your new life with?
I found this photo this morning in my Facebook album, and it's this black hat, and it sits about 2 to 3 inches off my head.
Did you have like the Charlie Chaplin one too, like Kate did?
No, it wasn't a Charlie Chaplin one. Like, it had feathers and
Oh.
tulle on it. It was real fancy.
It sounds like you're a mourning wife if it was black.
It was black.
It just needs like a little veil over the eyes, you know? That way it looks like you're mourning like your husband or something.
It didn't have the full-on mourning veil, but it did have like a little bend over the edge.
You were getting ready to convert if necessary.
If necessary, because, you know, you're not allowed to be gay.
No, absolutely not allowed. We sent you to Heritage College. It's impossible.
It's impossible. You cannot be gay. Yeah. I knew at 5, everyone. Hello.
Wait, you skipped that part. Tell me how you knew.
So back in public school, so 1995, yeah, I was like, why do I like her? Was not interested in boys at all. People find it strange that at 5 I knew that I liked girls.
Yeah, you had like your first crush, but that does happen. Yeah,
but you know when you know. So, but yeah, Heritage and Christadelphia stamped that out of me quick smart. Yeah, so back at age 5, I knew that I was into girls.
And promptly started locking that down and not talking about it, I presume.
Oh, that was repressed. 100%. Yeah, we do not talk about that. You do not feel that. You will marry a good Christadelphian boy. Ill. You will have many children to continue this on with.
I mean, your mom had like 7, so
yeah,
it's quite a few.
So yeah, that's how that came about.
And so let's go back to your baptism. What was your involvement like in the ecclesia after that? Did you get more involved with helping with anything or?
Yeah, so after that, I was then put on to help with organising the bread and wine in the morning for the Sunday service, get that all poured out into their individual little cups.
The little shots.
There was no communal cup. Ew, gross. Yeah, and then after the service, you know, you go clean it up, but you have to wait for the brethren to get off the platform. You can't do it while they're on there.
Mm-hmm. The cultural rules.
Yeah, the cultural rules. If there's a brother on the platform still, you cannot touch the bread and wine until they are off the platform.
Mm-hmm. And it's like the elevated platform at the front you're referring to.
Yeah.
Just for anyone who may not be Christadelphian, because they're kind of higher up, kind of not like super high or anything, but you feel like ours was like maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet up, so they could like see into the audience easily.
Yeah, that's what ours was as well. Yeah. Which, if you go onto Facebook, you can actually see it in my cult baptism album. So anyone who's on my friends list. Yeah. So, you take the bread and wine out the back and then be like, oh, is anyone watching? So I was usually put on with my sister, who is 15 years older than me. And she'd be like, here, have one.
Was it any
So
good?
no, it was putrid. But a shot's a shot. It doesn't matter. Oh, quick, have some of the bread. Oh no, this auntie's coming out. Quick, we're washing up. Da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't play an instrument, so I wasn't put on the piano or anything like that. So
Yeah.
it was pretty standard. And because I was the youngest person at the ecclesia at the time, right up until it closed in 2008, I didn't teach Sunday school then. It wasn't until, gosh, I was about 20 that I taught Sunday school. And that was at a different ecclesia altogether because ours had closed.
Okay. Why did yours close?
Because we had about 20 members at the time. And they were all baby boomers and the older generation.
Okay.
So our ecclesia was dying out pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah. So then I went to an ecclesia in Western Sydney, which was actually closer to my house.
I feel like I hear that all the time. They're like, oh yeah, it turns out there's a great ecclesia right around the corner I could have been going to.
Well, it turns out there was an ecclesia 5 minutes from my house, but that was a shield ecclesia, so we didn't go to that.
You can't. Those shielded.
No. Which, funnily enough, my auntie is still a member of.
Good for her.
Good for her. So yeah, I went to an ecclesia in Western Sydney, and so actually all the families that had left my original meeting had made this meeting. So I knew everyone there.
Okay. Well,
yeah. I think I was a member for about 2 years, roughly, maybe 3 years. That's where I met my husband at the time.
mm-hmm. So your ex-husband was a member there?
Yes, he was a member there. He didn't get baptized until after we started dating and we're talking about getting married. And I was like, well, you're not baptized. I can't marry you.
Yeah, even though you're Christadelphian, you're not up to standard.
Yeah, you're like down here and I'm up here. So yeah, then he got baptized and, got engaged, the whole, traditional thing. And while I was a member at that ecclesia, I did teach Sunday school to one of the little girls there, which I loved it because it was bringing back my childhood memories of, the lame man and making this little cardboard cutout with rubber band's legs that would go like this. And yeah, so I loved teaching that age because I would make my own little prototype to make sure she could do it.
So crafting, you liked the crafting
part. 100%. That was the best bit, which was like my calling because then I started sewing later in life.
What do you sew?
I can sew patchwork quilts.
Shut up. I'm getting into quilting again. I got this
amazing
new fabric. I'm going to have to send you pictures. It's so pretty. I'm excited to quilt with it.
Yeah, I saw a photo of your quilt the other day and I'm like, oh my goodness, she's a quilter. Yes.
I have 2 finished ones and then I've started a few this year. The other ones, I got into it when I was in college. And then once I went on to university and working, it disappeared, but getting back into it.
I loved it. I love patchwork quilting. It's great. If anyone needs fabric, hit me up because I have so much fabric that I don't use anymore. So hit me up, people.
If there's people in your area who want to craft, you guys should have a little craft club.
100%. Yeah. So what were we talking about? Oh, Sunday school. Yeah. So the crafting was definitely the best bit. I loved it.
See, there's one positive of Christadelphians, an excuse to craft on a Sunday morning. I found one.
We found it. We found the one positive. Yeah. I would spend all week crafting this little thing and then being like, yeah, this little 5-year-old can make this. And I'm like, she probably can't, so I'll do half of it. So really, I got to make 2 things. So it was great. Yeah. And then 2012 comes along. I get married, stay at that ecclesia for another year. And then my ex-husband and I moved up to Newcastle, which is 2 hours north of Sydney.
Okay, thank you for the geography, just because I don't know it.
But we moved 40 minutes west of Newcastle. So in a place called Maitlands. For anyone in Australia who knows that, that's where we lived for about 18 months. Two of my sisters lived close by. Didn't get invited to anything because they actually forgot we lived there.
Great. That's not the warmest welcome.
Yeah, so we were there for about 18 months. We joined another ecclesia up that way, which was about an hour's drive, maybe 45 minutes.
It's a bit of a hike.
Yeah. Again, taught Sunday school there for a little bit. And then it got to the point at the 18 months mark where we're like, this just isn't working up here. He couldn't find a job. I couldn't find a full-time job. And we were broke as hell, honestly. Yeah. So we were like, we're going to have to move back to Sydney. But we actually ended up moving into his parents' place, which was an hour and a half south of Sydney. So that was a long trek to move everything down. Yeah, so I found out I was pregnant just before we moved into their house with our daughter.
Broke as hell, displaced again.
Displaced and pregnant. Absolutely fabulous.
And in the Australian heat.
Yes. But yeah, moving in with them at 6 months, I'm like, we need our own house. I am going to murder someone if we don't get out of here. So by that time, we had moved to another very traditional ecclesia in Sydney, quite a large one with big families. Yeah, we're like, yep, this is the right fit for us. So yeah, we moved there. I don't know if I taught Sunday school there. I can't remember. So yeah, that's pretty much the roles I had during my time as a member. And then, just sitting there as a quiet woman listening. And by listening, I mean listening, not really. More chance of me being asleep in the back row than listening, or colouring in. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to guess doodling, but...
Yeah, I would have been doing my own study on the 7 barren women, which, funnily enough, I never finished that study. So, story of my life when it comes to Christadelphia.
So we've referenced a few things already, but I was wondering if you wanted specifically to talk about what you feel the impact of control would have been in your life. And I feel like probably could really pop open the topic of sexuality if we wanted here, which we already have talked about a little bit with starting at 5 years old, learning that was not allowed.
Control, my goodness. When I saw this question come up, I'm like, good God, do I have some things? So yes, definitely control over sexuality, sexual orientation, all that sort of thing. Not that I know any trans people, but even, hearing family talk about that, they're mentally unstable. There's something wrong with them. Things like that. And then, I'm pretty sure my mum must have known I was gay. Because some of the clothes that I used to wear was very, suspicious.
What does that mean?
At the time, I never saw anyone else dressed the way I did.
In what way, girl?
I would wear a tank top and cargo pants. And
the cargo pants. Okay.
The cargo
We're starting
pants
to get somewhere.
Yeah, the cargo pants was a big giveaway. None of my friends dressed like that.
So, and was it you picking them out and your mom was like, well, I'll let her have something kind of thing? Sure. Yeah,
it must have been. She agreed to let me have it. But then as I got older, the clothing got more conservative and... Oh, no, you can't wear that. Why not? I like it. No, I like this on you. So it became her choice of clothing. Mm-hmm. Even now I go to the shop and I'll see something and I'm like, oh, that's my mum. My mum would have chosen that for me. So yeah, even clothing was restricted at some point. Mm-hmm. I remember saying to my parents, I don't want to go anymore.
How old were you? Yeah.
I was probably about 12 or 13. Maybe a little bit younger because one of my sisters had stopped going for a little bit. And I'm like, well, she gets to stay home. Why can't I? Well, she's older. She can make her own choices. I'm like, well, I can make my own choices. And they're like, no, you're just a child. You have to go. Mm-hmm. Even if I, on the way there, I'm like, oh, I feel sick. Can I just, lay down? And they're like, no, you have to go in. And then, I'd walk out and then go lay down in this little the entry area, the vestibule, they used to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just lay over near the library and be like, sleep. So yeah, even sick days you weren't allowed to have. Financial control, that didn't come until I was married. My first boyfriend, so before my ex-husband, he was physically controlling. I dated him for 6 months, met him at Rathmines Bible School. He was from Adelaide. He was already planning our marriage, our life, how many children we were having at 3 months into the relationship. Yeah, red flags everywhere.
You don't even know me yet. You've just decided, and I'm just filling the role that you've picked.
Yeah. It's like, I've seen you 2 weeks out of the last 3 months. What is going on here? Yeah. And he's like, oh, I had a dream we had twins and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then, so we started dating in September because we met at September Bible School. Okay. By March, April, I think it was, he was like, you know what? You should move to Adelaide and get a job and, you know, we can start, you know, seeing each other more regularly. This story makes me laugh so hard. So we got invited to this wedding and I'm like, hey, Mum and Dad, I'm just going to go to Adelaide for the weekend. Packed the biggest suitcase I could find, as if that's not a red flag to a parent. But you're only going for the weekend. Why are you taking such a big bag? I'm like, oh, it's got my pillow. It's got this in it. It's got that in it, just in case I want to change different outfits. No, it had my whole fucking wardrobe in it. Yeah, I get to Adelaide. We go to the wedding, whatever. I was staying in his mother's room, which conveniently for me at the end of the story had a lock on the door. One day I was like, hey, he's been upstairs for a very long time. I'll go see what he's doing. Up I go. He was talking to someone online about how he'd planned all this for our life, that I would do as I was told. I would have no say in my life. He didn't know this person. It was just someone online. Anyway, I read some of it and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, why are you looking over my shoulder? And he pins me up against the wall. And I'm like, get off me, get off me. I ended up pushing him away from me. And I ran back downstairs to the bedroom and locked the door. And he's out there banging on the door, let me in, let me in. Mate, you just pushed me up against a wall. I'm not letting you in ever.
Fuck no. This is over. I'm sorry. That's it.
Yeah, you fucking psycho. But then I did find out why his mother's bedroom had a lock on the door. It was so she could escape from him too. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, so then, because I didn't have a return flight, I told his mother that she would be booking me a return flight. So that's what she did. She booked me a flight for 2 days later, which after that happened, I did ring my sister and she's like, I told you if anyone ever lays a hand on you, you leave. I'm like, well, I am leaving, but I don't know where to leave to. And my brother-in-law's family was from over there, so his sister came and got me.
Okay, well, that's the another positive of the Christadelphian community is everyone knows someone somewhere.
Everyone knows someone, yeah.
Be like, you've got family in that area, right? Like,
yeah, so, yeah, that was my first...
Wow, the first relationship.
That was my first ever relationship and my first touch of
domestic violence.
Physical control and domestic violence. So yeah,
not the first time we've heard about domestic violence. It can only get better.
It can only get better from here. Yeah,
and
so
what's especially creepy about that, just to reiterate and kind of underline, is how appealing control over a woman was to his sick mind, and he knew exactly the place to go to get a woman that he thought he could do that with and like own.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
he actually got married, I think 6 months to 12 months later.
I can't believe someone married him. What the fuck?
Yeah, I reckon she'd be regretting that choice.
One would think. I don't think he did intensive therapy in the 12 months after you guys broke up. I would be very surprised if he's like, you know what? I should change, be a better man.
I should fix myself before I get into another relationship.
Yeah, I should work on myself.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
Well, that's terrifying, and I am sorry to hear that for you. That's awful.
you know, it happens. It
It's
shouldn't happen,
definitely
but it
scary.
does.
It's definitely
Yeah.
traumatic,
So,
understandably.
yeah. Yeah, at 18, had my first brush with domestic violence.
With a Christadelphian, a good Christadelphian, a one who wanted marriage, all of that. Just what you were told to want. Baptized, all that stuff, right?
Yep, 100%. He was in the choir at Bible school. Yeah. Um, right,
Did
next
did you
part of
want to talk?
control.
Yeah, did you want to talk more about control? Do you have more stories or thoughts that
I
you want to
I
share?
I do have more stories. So financial control and physical control, that came after I got married. It came very subtly and very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until I realized it was happening probably 2017, 2018 that I was actually terrified to talk to my ex-husband about money because, we'd get paid and then suddenly it was all gone. And we'd get to Sunday and then he'd be like, well, I want to buy this. Well, we don't have money for that. How are we going to pay for that? He's like, well, where's all this money gone? I'm like, well, we had all these bills to pay. We did this, this, and this. And he's like, yeah, but we should still have money. I'm like, well, we don't. So, yeah, it did get to a point talking about money that even now I find it extremely uncomfortable to talk to my girlfriend about money. And she's like, I'm not him. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, talking about money is a natural and normal thing in a relationship. And I'm like, yeah, but it just makes me so uneasy. Like, I feel so anxious about it. Like, there's this ball in my gut.
Because it was a trigger. Conflict.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you knew there was going to be conflict coming. Yep.
Yeah. Anytime you talk about money, there's going to be an argument. I'm going to be anxious as hell. I'm just going to want to sleep for days. Yeah. There wasn't so much the domestic violence sort of thing, like me being pinned up against the wall with my first boyfriend. Because I did tell him, you lay a finger on me and you're fucking dead. That I told him that from day one of dating. So, like, we would have arguments and things like that, which, again, I'm very non-confrontational. Like, I don't do confrontation at all. And I'd be like, are you going to hit me? And he's like, no, why would I hit you? And I'm like, because you've got that face that you want to hit me. And he's like, no, I would never do that. But by the end of the marriage, like, he'd throw my little coffee table across the room
that's not
in rage.
Good. That's not good.
And I said to him one day, you're fucking lucky the kids weren't in the room, because if they were, you'd be a dead man. He threw his phone, cracked some boxes.
That's more of an intimidation thing. That's a loss of self-control, which becomes very dangerous. There's a lot there that is still negative, even if it's not physically harming you.
Yeah, so that kind of happened right at the end of our marriage, when we were just like, you know what, we're both done.
Yeah.
But I did speak to my therapist about all the trauma and things with being married, and she's like, this one hit kind of hard for me because at the time I didn't realize what it was, but there was sexual abuse in that marriage, which a lot of people around me don't know about. My girlfriend does. He does now, because I did write him a letter about a couple months ago stating everything that was wrong with our marriage and, all this trauma that I've held on to and I no longer want to hold on to. And I did say about the sexual abuse, the emotional blackmail. Yeah, like even now it's still hard to talk about.
Understandable.
Yeah. If you didn't want to, he would play the victim and be like, it's because you don't love me.
Oh, there's the manipulation. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not enthusiastic consent, then that's coercive, like Pete had said, coercive rape.
Yeah.
If you're forcing them to say yes when they already said no, then that's not real consent. If they don't actually want to do it, if they're only trying to do it to get out of the conflict, especially if someone's very non-confrontational.
Yes,
and they don't want to have a fight. And you're like, will this help my marriage if I do this? But then you're dying inside. Especially as a queer woman. Like,
as
even
a queer
worse.
woman, my God. I couldn't think of anything worse than a man. Ew. Sorry to all the men listening. I apologize, but I'm sure you're lovely. Just not my type.
The lovely ones won't mind. They'll be like, we get it. We've met them.
Yeah, we've met those types. Yeah, so it was like, do I keep having this conversation with him about me not loving him? Because, well, I didn't, not really. And yeah, it was just like, you know what? You just do whatever you want. I'm going to sleep anyway. So I would just lay there and shut my eyes.
That's going to be traumatizing.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be good for a relationship, certainly for either of you, really.
A lot of resentment grew.
And I mean, he's saying that this is, you have to do it because it shows that you love him. What does he do in return to show that he loves you? Because he's not even fucking listening to you or caring about how you fucking feel, is what I would
100%.
say. So why can't it go both ways then, if that's really what it's about? And if it is about emotions, because love is an emotion, then why not talk about your emotions? Because this is a physical topic. This is about a physical act, sexual act. And if that's the case, then that's a separate conversation if you want to talk about the emotional health of your relationship. So that's fucking manipulative and despicable.
Yeah. Which, you know, I don't know if he realized what he was doing. I feel like he did, just to get his own way. And he's the sort of guy that no one would ever pick this up on. But yeah, that went on for years. Oh, you don't want to because you don't love me. That was his go-to. You don't love me. Yeah, that's hard even still to talk about.
Those tend to be deeper wounds, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I did write him a letter not that long ago, and I explained everything to him. The emotional blackmail was constant. I told him that in those times of sexual abuse, I said, you raped me, and you know what? I don't have to forgive you for that. Yeah. So.
Did you find it helpful for you to do that and write the letter?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It ended up being 8 pages long.
You got it out.
I got it out. Yeah. Yeah. So I did notice that once I wrote him that letter, things did start to change a little bit in regards to him talking to me, even talking about money in regards to paying for things for our children.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely writing a letter to him helped in many ways.
That's good. And was there anything else you wanted to talk about with your sexuality before we get into talking about you leaving?
Pretty much a year into being married, my ex-husband assumed that I liked women.
He picked up on some hints?
He picked up on some hints. Queer Awakening would have been Underworld with Kate Beckinsale in it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. And I said to him one day, I'm like, wow, she's really sexy. And he's like, sorry?
Good Christadelphian wives don't say that.
And I'm like, don't you think? And he's like, yeah. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, he's like, do you like women? I'm like, no. Why would you say that? I can appreciate a good-looking woman.
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts, appreciating a good-looking woman. And then he asked a couple more times. And I'm like, you know what? Stop asking. Just yes. I like women. Yeah. And then it wasn't until after our marriage split in end of 2020, end of 2021 that I came out to everyone that I was gay.
Okay. Had you left by that point, or were you still a Christadelphian at that point? Another long pause.
a bit of both. It was kind of the process of leaving.
Okay.
Yeah. So which will lead into the next part.
Why don't you tell me where the beginning of the end was? Where do you put how the first part of whatever put you on the road to leaving?
I put that down to 2017. Okay. So I was like, I'm so unhappy. I don't want to be here. This is probably when all the depression
was that mostly in terms of the meeting or in terms of your marriage?
That was in terms of marriage, but also being at the meeting. I was like, this doesn't fulfill my cup. I'm not happy. I started to see a lot of inconsistencies in the ecclesia, even people making jokes about gays and lesbians.
Mm.
There was one time where I had a rainbow colored umbrella. So it was just, from the dollar store,
Yeah, cheerful.
whatever. I picked it up. Cheerful, happy.
It's a symbol of God's promise, people.
100%. But, there was a couple brothers standing at the door and saw the umbrella. Oh my goodness, the uproar about having a rainbow umbrella.
What the fuck? I thought they said it belonged to God. What's wrong with bringing God's promise to meeting?
That's right.
It's almost like you're saying, it's actually for the gays.
That's right. So do the gays own the rainbow now, or does God?
I think that's what I'm hearing. At least at that meeting. They gave it up. They rolled over for that.
Yeah. The conservative meeting gave it up to the gays.
They didn't even put up a fight. They're like, have it.
No. And I just remember thinking, how dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, even if I was. Fuck off.
Yeah. They didn't know whose umbrella it was.
Yeah.
And they're bitching about the gays and lesbians, and I'm standing there as a closeted one, just going, you're all fucking disgusting.
And they're the ones preaching to you and telling you how to live a godly life. They're the
model.
Love your
neighbor.
Yeah.
No matter the sin. Love your neighbor. No, they don't love anyone except themselves. Yeah.
So seeing a lot of hypocrisy and things there.
Hypocrisy
would
for
not
sure.
Help. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I felt stuck in someone else's life. I was living someone else's life. I was not living authentically. I had this husband who I did not love. I had a beautiful baby who was my world. She was the only thing keeping me going. And then I found out I was pregnant again, and I just remember crying my eyes out, thinking, holy shit, I am stuck in this life again.
Yeah. I'm deeper into this relationship, in this community, in this life. That doesn't, that's not fulfilling me.
Yeah, I'm never going to get out of here. So then our son was born. Great little guy. Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure I should have been diagnosed with postnatal depression, which then sunk me down into my depressive pit even more after he was born.
Yeah, that's real, unfortunately.
Yeah. And at the time he was born, we were actually living with my father, or as I call him, the donor, because we have nothing to do with him.
You both lived there for a time with the kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Only for a couple months, and then we moved out on our own again. Yeah, we moved around a lot while we were married.
Yeah.
So then once we moved out on our own, the depression hit even more. And I'm like, even the thought of getting up and getting ready for the meeting, getting the kids dressed for Sunday school, I'm like, why are we making the kids do this? I didn't want to do it at one point. Why am I forcing my kids to do it? Like, they should get to choose when they're older.
I do agree. I think that would make more sense.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make it indoctrinating. That would make it a choice.
Yeah, that's right. And I did say that to my ex-husband, and he's like, no, we're going. Get out of bed. We're going. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to. I don't enjoy it. I don't believe it. So the only thing that would get me out of bed was pretty much doing my own study, thinking about, because it took so long for us to have children, which I say so long, it was 2 years. Like, it's not long, but in terms of Christadelphia, it was a long time. So I continued doing the study of the 7 barren women, which funnily enough, 7 is complete. They were completed by having children. So, that resonated with me. Yeah. And then it just got to a point where I was sleeping all day, so depressed in life, in the meeting. My children were the only thing that kept me alive, because there were so many times where I almost drove my car into a tree just to get out of here. Yeah. Which again, not a lot of people know that. Yeah, I'm like, you know what, one day I'm I'm done.
Yeah.
So done.
But you wanted to be there for them too.
I wanted to be there for them. Like, my mum had already died, and her not seeing my children grow up was a big thing for me. And I'm like, I can't leave them. I need to be there for them. I need to be the parent that I didn't have.
Yeah.
Which I do feel sometimes I do overcompensate for that.
And then they'll be like, why are these kids so spoiled? And it's like, oh, God, I loved them so much.
I love them so hard. But yeah, so definitely that depressive slump was the beginning of the end for me.
You didn't have the energy to fake it anymore. It sounds like you just didn't have it. And it really tests your endurance just in life too, to have kids now to take care of. They're literally taking from your body and your energy and requiring so much of your, mental and emotional as well. So that makes sense. You kind of hit the breaking point where you're like, I can't fake this anymore for other people to make them happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, definitely by 2019, and then COVID happened, and I'm like, this is my out. Because all the Zooms started happening, and
you didn't have to get up and go for once.
Yeah, you didn't have to get up at, the crack of dawn to get dressed and rush out the door every Sunday. You could just sit on your lounge in your pajamas still and, lounge around. You didn't have to tell the kids, shh, be quiet for the next 45 minutes.
Did you really listen and engage, or was it on in another room? Honestly.
It was on in another. It started out to be on the TV, but I can quickly confirm that it was moved to another room.
Fair enough.
Yeah, or he would be out there listening to it and I'd still be in bed.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, can you just turn it down? Like, I don't want to hear this. If you want to listen to it, put your headphones on. So that's how it ended up going. He had it on his phone and had his headphones on, so I didn't have to hear it. So yeah, that was by the end of 2020. That was probably my worst mental state. I was having panic attacks. I was just not getting out of bed, even to the point where I got a message from one of the sisters at this ecclesia, and it was, hey, can you organize morning tea for Sunday school? My whole body shook to the point where, like, I could not calm down.
Yeah, your body was already into hyperdrive, and it just triggered it even more. Yeah.
I actually found today in my photo box the bunny I had.
Oh.
So this is the thing. It's just a little plush bunny that every time I would have an anxiety attack, that was my go-to thing to hold against my chest to make me calm down.
Yeah, help you comfort and regulate.
Yeah. And then the start of 2020 is when all the things went wrong. With the ex-husband throwing things, the amount of arguments. And I'm like, you know what? Just get the fuck out. Leave me alone. So yeah, a week later, he'd moved out. I'd stopped going. And that's where a few months later, I met my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, best part of my life.
A lot happened all at once.
Yes. In the last 5 to 6 years, so much has happened, and it's just crazy.
And I do want to hear all of it, and we'll keep going with the timeline. But some people have been like, oh, split up your episodes and do like half and half. And I was like, we're not ending here with like the depression and stuff. I need you to hear that things get better, that you can go through hard things and get to the other side. I want to give them hope. Like, we're going to end on the hope. Yeah. I know the episodes are 2 hours long, but it's there.
Yeah. Good things are coming, everyone. Stay with it.
Yeah. So pretty much right around the time he moved out and you guys separated potentially at that time, and presumably we're starting to talk about divorce, was when you stopped attending.
Yeah. So that was the start of 2021. Mm-hmm. And then by July of that year, I received a letter from that ecclesia that I was a member of.
Was it a threat, a coercion to come back? Was it a disfellowship? What did you get initially?
It wasn't the disfellowship letter. That came a few months later. Okay. But this came about because one of the brothers saw me wearing a tank top, and I apparently looked like a lesbian at the time. And I'm like,
What gave me away? My girlfriend?
what gave it away? Well, they didn't actually know about her when he saw me, but I did have this rainbow air freshener that my daughter chose because she was like, hey, rainbow, I love rainbows.
And they saw a rainbow and a tank top, and that was it? What was the
That
tank
was it.
top? Was it like a unicorn on it? Like what?
No, it was just a very baggy tank top, and I had a crop top bra on, so, you know, very different to what they would see me in at the ecclesia.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're like, lesbian alert. I'm like, I've been a lesbian my whole life, mate.
Yeah.
No shock there to me.
It's got to come out eventually.
That's right. And you know what? Now better than ever.
Right. It's better than like when you hear about like the grandpa that comes out at like the nursing home and has his first boyfriend. I'm like, this is so sad.
Oh, that's so sad.
Like those stories are just sad.
They are. But then it's like, you know what? Good for you.
Yeah. Like
Good
I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it's just sad that he went his whole life not being able to get out of that, you know, unhappy place. Yeah. Of having to repress it.
Yeah. Oh, I'd probably be dead if I had to repress it that long.
Well, unfortunately, that's the other thing that does happen.
Yeah. So yeah, I received this letter from the ecclesia.
Are you going to read it to us? I hear papers flipping. Or you can give me a synopsis, whatever you prefer, if it's fun or not.
It's not very long. So pretty much it says, we're writing to request a meeting after a conversation with a brother. We understand that you're currently separated from your husband and in another relationship. We are mindful that talking through your current situation is personal and may be challenging. We want you to explain to us your situation and allow to discuss together what the scripture says on this matter.
Ew.
We can arrange the meeting over Zoom or on the telephone or face-to-face. We intend to have 2 arranging brethren present at the meeting. However, if you are not comfortable with this, we can ask a sister to be present as well. Please let us know. Anyway, I can safely say I politely and diplomatically told them to fuck off.
The fact that they're saying you need to have a meeting with us to explain yourself as a grown woman and be like, and it's like an HR thing too. It's like, well, we're going to have other people present for it. I'm like, am I going to get fired? Like, what the fuck? And they're like, and we're going to use scripture. We're going to talk about your relationship in scriptural terms.
My disfellowship letter is not much better.
No. It's also wild to me just, again, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind closed doors that people don't know about, don't talk about. But the fact that you get this letter when you're finally healing from 2 damaging relationships, but neither of the brothers presumably got these letters, or at least the first one really should have gotten a fucking letter. But presumably, again, no one really knows because shame keeps victims silent. But yeah. I feel like I'm tired of hearing about the ABs pouncing on people for very innocent, normal life things. But then when terrible shit happens, they completely are inactive. And I'm like, come on, Batman, the sign is up. Like, do something about the bad things. And they're like, no, actually, we're going to write a letter about her not wearing a head covering. But that domestic violence is not our problem. Domestic violence is fine. And I'm just like, no. Yeah. What's your fucking point then? Why is this your priority? This is about controlling women. This is not about healthy ecclesias.
The control of women is just insane.
That's something I will bitch about, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was July of 2021.
All right. So, July of 2021, the arranging board threatened you with a awkward meeting to tell you they don't approve of you being separated.
Yeah. We don't approve of you being separated, and we're going to throw the scripture at you.
And, like, we messaged briefly about this, and I was obviously joking about it, but I was like, what would they say in the meeting? Was what I said, can you please stay in the relationship for the sake of our meeting because we want you to be in this relationship? Like, there was no outcome of that meeting that would have worked for you. It would have been you diplomatically telling them to fuck off in person as opposed to through a letter.
Oh, if I was in person, it wouldn't have been diplomatic. I would have literally told them to fuck off. Yeah.
Okay, so that was July.
Yeah, so my response came in August because I was just mulling it over. So then in September, I received my disfellowship letter. Mm-hmm. That is 2 full pages long.
Is it full of Bible verses or a recounting of your sins?
There is a lot of scripture in it. And in dot points. 7 dot points. About how I should not be in a relationship with a woman.
Okay, crime number 1.
Yeah. So they respected my wishes in regards to not appearing at that meeting. However, as an ecclesia of God, we need to make it very clear to you the Bible's teaching on relationships and matrimonial matters. Oh, because I haven't known this my entire fucking life.
And because the Bible is a perfect image of healthy, happy matrimony.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Abraham who let Pharaoh sleep with his wife?
Yes, it was.
And that was one of the early marriages in the Bible. So were they saying it would be okay to swing then if that's the Bible's marriage prototype for couples? I mean, if we're going to use the Bible, I'm just saying, if you're going to use the Bible, let's have a whole conversation here.
And if we're going to use the Bible, if we're going to use the Bible to talk about what matrimony is, and I know I mentioned this to you in a message during the week about what did all the wives and concubines do when the kings were busy? Do you think they were just waiting around for the king to be like, okay, now it's your turn? No,
I never thought about that.
There would have been things going on that weren't written in the Bible.
Okay. I just assumed that there would be so many children from that many women and concubines that these women had their hands full with their children, other women's children's, just a hot mess of procreation. And they're like, oh, that's your thing. Solomon's got to go be wise on his throne all day while you take care of all the other shit. Like, that's what I assumed.
There would have been servants and stuff to look after the children. So
I like that you went straight to orgy, just the lesbian orgy. You're like, that's what they were doing. It wasn't written, but it was assumed, it was implied. Old Testament.
It's implied, assumed, all of the above. Yeah.
I mean, it was like the hottest women, right? That Solomon would have been choosing,
Absolutely.
right? Like, they would have led us into temptation. Let's just say that.
Yeah. He was supposedly the wisest man, and he would have chosen the best of the best. So,
I mean, if you're king, you're getting the best of the best. If I was smart, I would have planned some quotes from Song of Solomon and be like, her breasts were like pomegranates of Lebanon or whatever.
Her teeth were like sheep's wool.
Yeah, exactly. He knew how to pick them.
Precious like rubies. I know this is so gay, but I have actually written in a letter to my girlfriend, you're more precious than rubies. I'm like,
the cult is coming out.
The cult came out for that. I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry.
Just pretend I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say that about it coming out of the Bible. I thought of that myself. So yeah, the letter then states that it's so long, it's ridiculous. We would have preferred to discuss matters directly with you. Our understanding is that you've separated from your husband and now living with a woman. Shock.
Scandalous.
This situation is contrary to scriptural teachings in several ways, which we now briefly outline in 7 detailed points.
7 is the number of completion. That's what
completion.
7.
That's right.
And that was 7. You're done. You're complete with your time in the Christadelphians.
Yeah. I don't even think I originally read the whole letter because I don't know what the second page says.
So this is fun for both of us. It's the first time.
We're learning things together.
Yeah.
We have all changed from an old way of life to follow our Lord Jesus Christ. And it is comforting to understand that sins committed can be forgiven where there is repentance.
Oh, that sounds really shamey, I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
That's the polite way of saying ask for forgiveness for your sins.
Yeah. We are open to meeting you and supporting you through this process if you choose.
We will send you to conversion therapy is what I got out of that.
Yeah.
We will support you and pay for your conversion therapy.
Yeah. We'll have rocks thrown at you until you repent your ways.
Mm-hmm. That was a biblically encouraged way of handling the situation.
Yeah.
It's all about scripture.
Yeah. We also note that over the past few months, you've chosen to withdraw yourself from our company and our formal meetings. Unfortunately, considering all these things, it would appear to leave us with no option but for the ecclesia to withdraw fellowship from you until you repent from the error of your ways. And then it has a
Ooh,
Bible
that's
verse.
so shamey. You've made an error.
I've made an error.
There,
and
pointing some fingers.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if my ex-husband got this.
Yeah, did he ever mention, like, oh, the letters dropped, like, you would both get them the same day, be like, oh, they both hit the mailbox the same day, right?
Nope.
Is it because you initiated it and he was still attending, though? Was he attending?
He was still attending. On his weekends with the children, he was taking them, which I abruptly put a stop to. I said, if you want to continue going, you go on your own. The children will stay with me if you want to go. Which he wasn't really interested either, to be honest. So he stopped going. He hasn't been back since.
Maybe he's gotten a letter now. I don't know. Did he get disfellowshipped?
I don't think so. I think he's still a member. I haven't spoken to him about it.
If so, sexist.
100%. Again, controlling the woman, the man does no wrong.
Maybe they gave it like the accelerated path because of the living with a woman thing. They're like, oh, we gotta get rid of her on the rolls fast.
Oh yeah.
Like,
but the funny thing is, with my being disfellowshipped, no one knew about it. Not even members in the ecclesia. The members didn't know because I was still getting messages.
Didn't they have just put that in the announcements or something? Like, please be aware we have withdrawn fellowship from so and so.
I know it was announced because someone's grandmother mentioned it to them and then they told me, but it was done on the sly. It was just like, this sister no longer attends.
It's like if you blinked, you missed it.
Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't notified like all the others in like the Christadelphian Lampstands magazine or anything like that.
Because that could be as like an ecclesial change. Like they'll announce baptisms, and I believe they've also done disfellowships at times. They'll publicize it.
But yeah, mine was not publicized at all. And then a couple of years later, I actually got this message from a sister that my family knew very well. And she's like, how dare you do this, do that? Your mother would be so ashamed of you. My mother's dead at this point. I said, how dare you? How dare you bring her up? I said, you don't know the struggles she went through. You don't know the struggles I went through. She would be proud that I had the balls to get up and leave. So yeah. I did get a couple messages like that, but most of them after I was disfellowshipped was like, hey, haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
It's been 12 months. I was disfellowshipped 6 months ago. They're like, oh, okay. Never heard from that person again. But yeah.
I just thought back to earlier in the conversation about talking about like being lonely in the meeting, and it is interesting to then compare that to the reaction to you being gone, because you have not mentioned friends checked up on me while I was depressed, or people at the ecclesia brought food over, or like any sort of like aid, support, tangible in-person connections, creating some sort of community through COVID, like young moms meetups. Like I am just not hearing anything about community. It sounds like you're as lonely as your mother was being in that community, even though you've been there your whole life and had been in an ecclesia with young families and stuff as well.
Yeah. So when my daughter was a baby, I did go to playgroup. That lasted a total of 6 months because the other mothers were all my age, all the girls I grew up with in the cliques. Yeah, so that lasted 6 months. I never went back. They never asked why. There was just no community there for me.
Yeah, you didn't connect with anyone on a genuine level, no. It sounds like.
I did have one or two close friends when I was married, but they didn't know the extent. So if they ever listen to this, they're about to find out a whole lot of information.
And I think that's probably pretty normal for a lot of people, because a lot of the ecclesias encourage superficial conversation, I would say, where it's like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, what did you go to? Oh, are you bringing this to the potluck? Like it's logistics and talking about the church and religion. But I feel like I didn't experience a lot of deep personal connections and a lot of people really creating community outside of the meeting as well, where you're actually like spending quality time with each other with your full identities outside of the meeting. And especially there's always the risk of they might shame me, they might use this against me.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. They're in this family that might tell so-and-so who will tell someone else. Like, Yeah,
It'll get back to my parents. So, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was risky to even open up too. Like, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like it
But
was
yeah,
hard.
showing the superficial was very much ingrained in me from a very young age from my family. You show them this face, you don't show them what's behind the face. You don't talk about feelings. You don't talk about trauma. You don't talk about anything.
Oh, that's all the stuff
You
I
do,
love to talk about here.
you deal with it internally. You don't even talk to us about it. You want therapy? Therapy's for kooks.
I think generationally, each generation has shifted the conversation a bit on that stuff.
Yeah. So yeah. And then my donor father, I haven't spoken to him since 2021.
How was the reaction to your family? It sounds like we've already kind of covered the reaction of the ecclesia. Shame you, it's your fault, we don't approve of you, you're out.
Yeah.
Did your family choose to end relationships with you, or was it toxic and you kind of closed the door?
Oh, the whole family was just toxic. Okay. Our parents would play us off against each other and be like, oh, this sibling said this about you, or Beck said this about you, and then we'd fight and then be like, wait, we never said that.
That's very unhealthy.
Or you would tell my mother something and then be like, don't tell this one that. And then that sibling would come and be like, hey, why'd you tell mum this? So yeah.
No
very,
trust
very
was
toxic.
there. Yeah, no trust.
No trust. Which is a big thing for me. Like, I need to have trust, but I didn't even have it in my family. So
yeah, you had to build that elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, my family about me leaving my ex-husband was surprisingly okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, my dad said to me, you know what? Never liked him.
All right, honestly, I'll take that. I'll take that as a positive.
I take that as a positive, but also I'm like, well, then why did you say yes to him and allow him to marry me if you didn't like him?
Well, yeah, it probably wouldn't have been appropriate to just say something like, I have a concern about this, and just like one-on-one talk to you. But I guess if they literally didn't talk about anything with you, then they kept that to themselves as opposed to
kept that to themselves,
preventing it.
Yeah. So that was his take on it. I never liked him. Yeah. My brother-in-law said that he noticed my mental health decline and knew it was him. But again, we don't talk about it. So
we just left you to deal with it and assumed you'd be miserable forever. No one ever gave you a nudge or wanted you to talk about it.
No one gave a literal fuck.
I kind of hate that he said, oh, yeah, we did notice. We just didn't do anything.
Yeah. Because they were like, oh, the last time we saw you, you were like this bubbly person. And then we saw you the next time and you were just so deflated. It's like, yeah, because I was living fucking hell. So yeah, and then my sisters, they were okay with me leaving my ex-husband. But coming out as gay, I did tell my sisters first. And the sister above me, she's 10 years older. And I said, like, didn't you ever get the hints that I was gay? Like, even as a child? She's like, no, why would I ever think that? I'm like, clothing, for one.
The pictures.
The pictures. Yeah. I did leave my brother and my father till last because I was the most scared to tell them. Mm-hmm. All my friends at the time knew. I was like, hey, by the way, I've left my husband and I'm gay. But yeah, telling my brother, I was petrified to what he would say. Mm-hmm. My sisters I told all over the phone, but my brother, I did that in person because he lived so far away. And he said, what's wrong? And I said, I need to tell you something private. So we went out the front of my parents' home and I said, I'm gay. I said, I've been terrified to tell. I said, I'm scared that you will hate me. And he goes, I could never hate you.
Aww.
I love you. And you can tell me anything, anytime.
That's a pretty incredible response, actually.
You do what makes you happy. So yeah, I'm not crying, you're crying.
Actually, do you see how red my eyes are right now? I'm tearing up.
I do. So that that was the best response from my family.
Yeah.
The worst response came next.
Oh. From your
Which
dad?
I was,
Or no.
yeah, from the donor, as I call him.
But I mean, maybe you'll like this one better, Dad. She's nice. She's pretty. Come on.
She's beautiful, makes me happy.
What more could you want for your girl?
That's right.
Just to see her happy.
Yeah. No. Did not want me to be happy. All right, let's get those happy tears out the way because the anger's about to start. Yeah, so telling my father I was gay, that was epic, I have to say. It shouldn't have been, but it was. So one day I was at his house and I said to him, I have a girlfriend. Now, this is just after having a visit with him. My kids are in the car. I'm about to leave.
You planned the getaway, I see. Smart.
I planned the getaway. Yeah, always plan the getaway. Drop the bomb, leave.
Yes.
Now, because all my siblings had already known about who my girlfriend was, and I'm like, please don't tell Dad. Please don't tell Dad. And there was one particular thing that I said to like each of my siblings to be like, I'll know who it was if they tell him.
You really grew up with trust issues.
100%. So each of them had a different thing that I told them. And I said to him, look, I'm gay. I have a girlfriend. And he goes, oh, yeah, I know. It's blah, 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 blah. And he said the thing that I told my middle sister. She still refuses that it was her, but I know. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? And he's like, oh, because you've spoken about it before. No, I haven't. Not to you. So, yeah. And then I'm like, all right, bye. Left. Then just before Christmas of 2021, I took my girlfriend to meet him.
Okay.
Anyway, he's out the back. I'm like, hey, Dad, this is my girlfriend. And she's like, hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
love your girlfriend. She's lovely, blah, blah, blah. And he goes,
what? He grunts
at her? He grunted at her.
What does that fucking mean? That's gross.
Didn't say hello, didn't say anything, just grunted at her.
Like she was beneath him to speak to? Like
100%. Like, how dare you corrupt my daughter?
I think it's actually the finger goes the other way. You're the one that prevented her from being happy earlier with all of the indoctrination and control, actually.
Yeah.
What?
He actually grunted at her like an animal.
Ooh.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, well, nice to meet you. Have a lovely Christmas and New Year's.
Yep. I did what I had to do. See you later. I got what I came for. I got a taste of it, and now I know why she's in therapy.
100%. And the same day, like my auntie, who is my mum's sister, the family herald, as we call her, she was in the house as well. And she's like, my girlfriend says to her, it's so lovely to meet you. It's so lovely that, you know, you're quite happy to talk to me, unlike other people in this family. And she's like, no. Like, my auntie is now in her 80s. So, like, she's old, right? She didn't really understand the concept of me having a girlfriend when I first told her, but, you know, she came around.
Oh, you're her friend? Great.
Oh, like you're just friends. No, Annie, blah. She's my special friend. Oh, okay. Like your best friend. Yeah, kind of. Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how nice for you girls. Well, I mean, that's what they said actually happened a lot. If you read like historical accounts of lesbianism, men didn't take it seriously that women could be lesbians, so women roommates would happen, and they didn't have an issue with it until they realized that women would have sex with each other, and then they're like, wait a second.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just living with my cousin.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it ruined lesbians living contentedly alone. I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah,
the men figured it out.
Yeah, damn you, man. So, yeah, and then after we left the house, I sent him the longest message of my life. And I said, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you treat my girlfriend the way you just treated her. You have no rights. I went off and I said, if you were the father that you should have been, you would have been completely different. Like, I still have these messages in my phone because every now and then I go back and just reiterate to myself, you're a strong woman. You said this. You cut those ties. Yeah, he did come back and throw the Bible at me in a few messages.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, don't use that for your defense, because God was gracious enough to bless you with 5 children and you treated them all like shit. Why do you think you have nothing to do with your children? To this day, none of us have anything to do with him. And, he's the victim in this story because none of his children talk to him. And poor old him.
It couldn't have anything to do with his behavior or not ever learning a lesson. Yeah, lack of reflective skills and repairing the relationship and growing or...
Yeah, no. Yeah, so I have nothing to do with my siblings. I have nothing to do with him. My children have obviously nothing to do with them. And, my daughter's 10 now. She knows exactly why I have nothing to do with him. My son, he's been diagnosed with autism recently and ADHD and epilepsy and a few other things. So he's usually off in fairyland. He doesn't get it. Great, awesome, funny kid. But yeah, he just doesn't get it. Which one day I hope he does. But he doesn't ask about them. He's 8. But my daughter, she's like, why don't we see grandpa anymore? And I'm like, this is why. And she's like, he treated you like that? What a pig. Like, this is coming out of a 10-year-old. The truth out of the mouth of babes, honestly.
That's kind of funny that she saw through it so clearly at that age.
Yeah. And
whereas parents are like, it's so complicated to love your kids. And the kids are like, no, it's not.
Yeah. I'm like, why was it so hard to love me? I love my children unconditionally. Like,
right.
If my kids came home and said, oh, I like boys, I like girls, I'd be like, fucking high five.
Yeah.
It's not like I have a lesbian agenda. No, I just want them to be happy.
No, I will be excited if they're gay, but I will love them equally 100%. Either way.
Yeah, because that lineage dies with us. Yeah. So yeah, my family is very toxic in many ways. And you know what? The peace of mind that I had cutting them all off, nothing compares to that. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it was better for your mental health, it sounds like.
Yeah. Do I love my siblings? Absolutely. Do I know my siblings? No, I do not.
Yeah, it's the loving them from afar thing. It's like you can love them, but it can be too harmful to be with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's my family.
Yeah. And so that's how it went, leaving and then watching it all kind of burn down.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know what? I have never been happier in my life without them, because my girlfriend has brought so much joy and love and trust to my life. And you know what? Her family has just incorporated myself and my 2 kids into their life from the very beginning.
That's very fortunate. It's wonderful.
Which I know they will listen to this, and I'm not crying. I'm not. They are all so lovely.
Yeah. It's lucky when you find that your partner's family are wonderful. It's double blessing to have a wonderful partner and to have their family. Yeah, I know I had some similar things over the years with my partner's families, and it's been really nice to see other people just be like, oh, you're not hard to love. No, we're happy to have that. We're happy to accommodate this for you. We're happy to do this for you. And I'm like, I wish my parents felt the same way. I really do. I wish they felt the same way, that it was as easy to love me as it is for other people's families.
Yeah. And like my girlfriend's mum, she's of the boomer generation. So, the same thought process.
Yeah, it's not even just that generation. I think it's more. It's also the Christadelphian.
Yeah,
ideology.
Absolutely. And like, I've had conversations with my girlfriend's sister and her brother before he passed away. And, they all go, we just love you. You're so good for our sister. Like, she's so happy now. It's like, yeah, but you don't realize what she and all of them have done for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that healing that
So,
comes from just being loved
yes,
and just rewriting
absolutely.
over those old stories in your heart from all the hurt and be like, oh, it turns out those weren't real. Like,
Yeah,
I was living in a warped reality.
yeah, I'm actually not a bad person and I'm not hard to love. What is
Yeah.
this? Are you all crazy? Because
I
I've been
know.
told this my whole life.
You're just waiting for the rug to pull out from under you. You're like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
This isn't my world.
Oh, the rug being
Like,
pulled out. Oh my God. Yes.
yeah.
But no, like her mum incorporates my kids as part of the family and as if they're one of the grandkids, which,
Yeah.
is a big thing for me, especially because my grandparents, oh, loves of my life, honestly. I spent more time with them than anyone else growing up. So
Mm-hmm.
to have her mum incorporate them
Yeah, to
and
have a grandparent for your kids
to
now.
have a grandparent figure for them is a big thing. Like my ex-husband, he has his parents, which they don't see often, but my girlfriend's family turns up for me and my kids all the time, no matter what. And I'm just like mind
Yeah.
blown.
Having that support is so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, but I am so blessed and so thankful to have them.
Yeah. I so that's very fortunate. That's
Yeah,
wonderful
which,
for you.
So this will be the first time they hear me saying that about them. So that's probably why I'm a little emotional. I mean, me being emotional, not what? I'm not an emotional person. Oh God, I should have brought the tissues. But yeah, like I even have another photo for you to see. So this is me about age 3, I'd reckon, with my grandparents.
Aw. Oh, it looks like they're in their Sunday best.
Oh, always. Oh no, my grandfather's in tracky ducks.
It's so cute though. I see he's holding you.
Yeah, loves of my life, these two. Honestly, they are the ones who protected me from everything, pretty much. So if I had a problem, I went to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to cry, so I'm not going to talk about that part because I've cried enough.
Well, let's keep talking about your life after you left. We can talk about all the hope, all the ways your life has changed, the positives, what you do on a Sunday if you want.
Yes. And don't forget, we also have ghost stories to come as well.
Oh, that's one of my questions for you. Don't worry. I wouldn't miss it.
No, we're not missing out on ghost stories. So life after leaving, wow, what a whirlwind in...
Well, you have been binging it, and you're not the first. I've seen other people do the same, and they message in the group, and their heads are like exploding as they listen to all of it as fast as they can once they start.
Yeah. I've actually been listening to all the podcasts. I will admit I have skipped some of the history ones because I'm like, no, I just need to know other people's stories.
You can get back to it. It's fine.
I'll go back to those. The true crime ones, good Lord, they shook me. Yeah, but I have been binging episodes like crazy. And everyone's experience is, even though we're all from different parts of the world and our stories are all different, a lot of our experiences are the same. A lot of our traumas are the same. Which, at the end of the day, we shouldn't have had to deal with all that. But we all deal with it in our own way, in our own time. When we're ready, we're ready. And, I'm thankful that you do this podcast so that we can hear everyone's story. Because we sit out here and we think, fuck, we're the only ones feeling like this.
Yeah, we're all so isolated. We're all so alone when we leave.
Yeah. Like being isolated in the cult already and then coming out of it it's like, oh, I'm still so isolated. I have no one to talk to about any of this because they're either in or they're so far away.
Yeah, or they just would not understand or relate.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've tried to talk to my girlfriend about certain things and she's like, what? This is a cult? And I'm like, no. Like when I first came out, I'm like, no, it's not a cult. What are you talking about? It's just a religion where, you have no control over your life and they tell you what to do. So, yeah, there has been a lot of healing in regards to therapy. Mm-hmm. I did find writing helps because, mm-hmm. I'd be laying in bed and then this thought would come into my mind. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to turn the light on. So, voice to text, and then it would text everything out. And then I could go to sleep.
Yeah, I find that helps me too, the same way. Because otherwise it'll loop in your head and you have to get it out, just out.
Yeah, I need it out so I don't think about it anymore.
Yeah, talking about it, writing about it are great ways to do that.
Yeah. So I then go back to the things I had voice to text. And then I read it one day and I'm like, that's a poem. It came out in poetry form. And I'm like, okay. And then I'd be sitting there one day and then this thought would come to mind. And what came out was poetry. And it happened so often. And all this trauma was coming out in my words, which I did share it online eventually. But yeah, doing that was scary, sharing that. So yeah, definitely writing either in a diary or poetry form, whatever, helps my mental load. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely seeing a therapist. I have changed 3 or 4 times over the last couple of years, and the one I've got now, fabulous. She allows me to express how I'm feeling without being judgmental and, talk about all the trauma, which I haven't really delved into the cult trauma yet. I did on Friday because this was coming up.
Yeah, you're like, by the way, I'm going on a podcast. I might be crying a lot next week.
Yeah, and she's like, you've been gatekeeping all this from me? What the hell? I've seen you for 3 years and you've never mentioned this.
Wow.
I'm like, surprise. I've been dealing with family trauma instead.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of intertwined.
Yeah.
Because like most people, you're raised in it. Your family's in it.
Yeah. So, yeah. I said, well, the next couple of sessions are going to be cult inspired.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, can't wait. I said, so yeah, Google this cult before I see you next.
There's a whole podcast you can listen to, ma'am.
Yeah. But yeah, for anyone who has just left, it is scary, but it does get better. Yeah. You're not alone.
Not anymore. You shouldn't feel so alone.
No. And yeah, I do understand those who join the Facebook group and then, certain jokes get made and they're like, oh, that hurts still.
Yeah, it's too new. It's too raw still. Or they're still defensive because they still identify with it in a way, even though they're not in it. Yeah, it's tough to disentangle initially sometimes.
Yeah, because I remember one of the first things I saw and it was something about Jesus and I'm like, oh, that hurts.
Meanwhile, now you with your Jesus shirt.
I have a Jesus shirt on saying disappointments all of you. Like, what a complete 180.
And isn't that funny, though, how that does happen? You do change and evolve over time, but usually you do need to give it time. And it's okay to take a break. I remember I didn't join the group right away. I didn't realize it existed either. But I was just took time, didn't think about it, didn't think about religion, didn't go to church, didn't do shit. And it took years. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay. And then by the time I joined the group, I was ready and it was pretty seamless going in. But it was because I gave it time. I didn't, sometimes you don't want that right away.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was actually a member of the Facebook group who invited me, who I grew up with. He's much older. Mm-hmm. So I remember him being at my childhood ecclesia.
Okay. And he, I guess, had heard that you had left or something.
Yeah. It had gone through the grapevine that I was gay and had left. So he invited me and I'm like, not yet. And then one day I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to see what this is about. Yeah. And I was like, wow, why did it take me so long to join this group? Yeah, so it's been amazing.
Good. I'm glad that's been there
Yeah.
for you and that's been helpful for you. Have you found any queer community nearby that you've been able to sync with to further get
Um,
into that?
Not that I've gone looking for that.
Because
I
I
do
feel
have
like
a
you would
few
love
queer.
that.
I do have a few queer friends, funnily enough. I was a part of a sewing group for a while, for a couple of years, um, probably about 4 or 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
which, funnily enough, my mother was a part of before she died.
Wow.
And then I joined the same group, a couple years later. But yeah, since leaving, I lost all my friends, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, I might have a couple on Facebook now that you go, oh, hey, how are you? 6 months later, haven't heard anything. Like I said, I still do have some Christos on there, but I don't talk to them. They're the
Yeah.
ones who have just stayed, even though I came out as gay. And, the amount of people that dropped off was ridiculous. And I'm just like, yeah, not a true friend. Don't care. Don't care.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my circle is extremely small,
Mm-hmm.
consists of maybe 3 or 4 people now
Yeah.
that I've met after leaving. And they are the best people I've ever met.
It is nice to finally fill your life up with genuine relationships, even though it does become quality over quantity. So we had these huge groups of people we were around all the time, but we didn't often have quality, intimate friendships with them.
Yeah.
And then now I feel like the same way where it's like I don't feel like I have a ton of really close friends, but the ones I have, like I feel like I can count on and like tell them,
Yeah.
the real things we could talk about.
Yeah. They see the real version of me
Yeah.
and they still accept me. Like, yes, I'm crazy. I may sometimes have resting bitch face. But you know what? They still love me for me. They don't want me to change. And that's the sort of people that everyone needs.
Yeah. You need people who
Yeah.
accept you and love you. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I can tell you that I'm so thankful for the 2017 to 2019 version of me that didn't give up and kept going,
Yeah.
because I've seen and learnt so much since then.
And it was awful, understandably awful, but you did get through it. You did show that you were strong enough to get through that and create a whole new life, as scary as that
Yeah.
was to lose everything pretty much that you had at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I don't regret the choices of leaving. Best decision.
I can't imagine you being happy still being there in that life.
No way. No way.
Why don't you tell me your spooky stories? Because I'll be really
All
disappointed
right.
if your phone cuts out and I don't get to hear them. Let's be honest.
Oh, spooky stories. So, my first spooky story, and I have another photo for you,
I get
just
so
to
many.
show how old I was when this started, right? So that's me,
Okay, cute.
probably about age 3,
Yes.
and the lady next to me.
Okay, so she looks like she might
Okay,
be dying.
yeah, she's dying in this photo.
Yeah, she's like in
So,
hospice, lots of pillows, all
yeah,
white. She's ready for heaven.
so that is my great grandmother on my mother's side.
Okay.
And she would be 103 in that photo.
She was 103? Honestly,
Yeah,
she's doing good for 103 in that photo. I would want to look that good at
yeah,
103. I was guessing like
yeah.
85. Like she could still pull a
Nah,
date at that age, is what I'm saying.
103 and still kicking it.
A man with a cane would pick her up and take her out.
Absolutely. Yeah. From photos of her when she was younger, she was a stunner. Which,
I believe it.
genetics.
Clearly she aged well, yeah.
Yeah, so my mum always used to tell me this story, that I'd be sitting up in bed and I'd be talking to someone.
Yes, tell me more.
Yeah. And she'd come in and be like, hey, Beck, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to Nana, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no.
She's
I'm
dead.
like, yeah, I am. She's on the end of my bed. And she's like, what is she wearing? I told her exactly what she was wearing. What she was wearing when I was talking to her is what she was buried in.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So from the
she was there, all right.
She was there on the end of my bed,
and she wore an outfit your mom would recognize.
Yeah. For her to prove that she was there. Like, how would a 3-year-old know that she was buried in that?
Yeah.
No. So yeah, that was my first experience with a spirit.
Okay.
First of many. So because we're told not to search for spirits and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, witches, evil. Yep.
Yeah. So I do believe that did suppress
ability.
That ability. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wondered and was asking Sarah too, because she is ability. And I was just like, how does this, when you knew it as a kid, how does that happen when you're in the Christadelphian, you're like in this bubble? I'm like, okay. But you knew you had that already. Yeah,
because my mum used to tell me about it, and I'm like, that's so weird. And then I'm like, well, it makes sense, because growing up in that house that we did grow up in, I always felt there was someone else in the house.
Mm.
So from where my bedroom was, I had to go through a lounge room, a dining room, and out to the kitchen. And I would always see this shadowy figure straight across the door like this.
Okay.
Like
very moving quick. His hand over or running past it?
No, running past.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'd always be like, what was that? Oh, okay. But then I'd walk back the other way and it'd happen again.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell sometimes it was a man, but then sometimes it was a woman. So, yeah. I'm
visibly,
not quite sure about
or you
that
just sensed that it was that
gender? I could just sense that it was that gender. Yeah. The next story goes to one of my nieces when she was a baby. So it was not long after my grandmother died. And my sister was holding her, and my mum and I were standing behind. And the baby's not looking at us. She's looking over here, somewhere to the side. And then my mum just happened to say, hey, Mum, so that's her mother who had died, if that's you, move to the other side. And the baby's head turns to look to the other side. And we're all like, that's not a coincidence. What just happened?
She's looking at something. Babies will track. Yep.
Yeah. And then, oh my goodness, I have another one. So after my mother passed away, I could always feel a spirit around. I didn't know if it was her, but there was always a woman following me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'd just be like, go away, leave me alone. Fucking terrifying. So that spirit always hung around. But in the house I lived in before the one I'm in now, my children were in bed, were sound asleep, and I decided to get in the shower, and I could hear feet running.
Oh, no.
Yeah, children's feet. And I'm thinking, you little buggers.
You're supposed to be in sleep. Yeah.
So I get out of the shower, and I'm like, no, they're asleep. I get back in the shower. It wasn't them. Doors were locked. Can't get in. And next minute, I hear again.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm just hearing things. Then the fire alarm goes off. There was no battery in the fire alarm.
Ooh. Yeah, that sounds like my life. Yep, that sounds like shit I experienced. Yep.
Yeah. So I can tell you, I went and bought sage the next day and saged the shit out of that house.
That didn't do anything with my case. I was told to do the same thing, and it did not work. I think he laughed in my face. Ha, ha, ha.
You didn't have a big enough bush to burn. Sage did help in my situation. I'm like, no, only good thoughts, only good feelings. Get out of my house. Get out. So that spirit did leave for a while, and then the feet came back. So I'm assuming it was children.
Yeah. Mm.
But yeah, that sage did get burnt a lot in that house. In the house I'm in now, I will occasionally sense that there's a man hanging around, but not one to harm, one to protect.
Okay.
So Yeah. When we're all asleep, my girlfriend and I will occasionally hear feet, and we're like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "No, it's okay."
Yeah. I read one book once that said that they thought footsteps was the most common and often the first sign of like a haunting spirit energy that most people detect.
Yeah.
And that was what it was for me too. So it's interesting that you keep
Yeah.
bringing up the footsteps too.
Yeah. In regards to my mother's spirit, I actually, because she died nearly 10 years ago, and all the trauma and stuff, I actually wrote her a letter because I didn't get to tell her what I
Yeah.
felt and how I was treated and everything like that. So I went to her grave one day with a 4-page letter, and sat there and read it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I've also read things to the dead, so don't be.
yeah. It's actually so healing to do that. But then I was like, you know what? I'm not bringing any of this letter home with me. I took a metal bowl, I took a lighter and a bottle of water,
Mm-hmm.
and I burnt the letter at her grave.
Mm-hmm.
I tipped the ashes onto her grave and I said, these words will stay with you.
Yeah.
And then, I put the fire out and I threw out the bowl. And you know what? I left that cemetery feeling so light and free.
Yeah.
I haven't felt her spirit around since. It's been over 12 months.
Wow. I love
So,
that worked. I do find that with me, like talking to the spirits has often been really helpful, more than the sage. Yeah, and even just for like the emotional trauma and stuff, being able to talk about it, and in your case, both the writing and speaking it out loud to her. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good combination.
The most awkward bit was that there were other people walking past me, and I'm like, I'm trying to pour my heart out to my mother, and you just keep walking past me.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, excuse me, I'm trying to do something over here.
Yeah, I'm trying to heal my trauma, and you will not walk away.
Yeah, it's just awkward, and I'm like, I'm trying to talk to the spirits.
Yeah, so since then, I haven't been, because my mother and my grandparents, her parents, are buried in the same cemetery, just on different sides.
Yeah.
So since I read her that letter, I haven't been back to her side. I've been to their side.
Yeah.
I've left flowers. I sit there and talk to them.
Yeah.
Like I told them all about my girlfriend. I told them about her family and about the kids. And I feel very light when I go there.
Yeah.
So,
And another thing that's come up a lot in the podcast is that those feelings coming back where you get in tune with how you're feeling, because you're doing that so naturally now. You're like, oh, I feel light. Oh, this makes me feel heavy. And I remember like being in the Christadelphians, I feel like you had to override those feelings all the time. Be like, I feel miserable and sick. I'm going to lay down the vestibule, but I want to die. Like, but you had no control.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
And you always had to be like superficially smiling and pleasing everyone else. And like, and you could never, you could never actually like just follow your gut and do what felt right and get away from situations that felt wrong too. So it's good to see that you've also been getting more in tune with that of what actually feels right for me and what feels wrong for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a big learning curve.
Yeah.
Who is Beck and what does she like and what does she not like?
It's a big rediscovery once you leave and you're like, oh, I have no one telling me who I am, so now I have to figure that out.
Yeah. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm allowed to, go and buy myself a pair of shoes without asking permission? What? True story.
Jesus. Did you have any recommendations for any resources you want to share before we wind down for today?
I know this podcast has already been mentioned in a previous podcast.
From God to Gay?
From God to Gay,
From God
absolutely.
to Gay.
Honestly, besides this podcast, it is the best.
Oh, I do plan on listening to it too, so I'm happy to be alongside it. Feel free.
So it's two ex-Mormon women who grew up as Mormons, got married, and then came out as gay later in life after having children.
Very similar trajectory to you, understandable.
Very similar. So a lot of their things, I was like, oh my goodness, even though it's a different religion, same girl, same. Like I have them on Instagram now, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I listened to this episode and wow. So I think everyone should listen to it, regardless if you're gay or not. It's just interesting. I did have another book, but I don't actually know if oh no, I still have it. It's one that helped with my mother in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Will I Ever Be Good Enough? Healing the Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers by Carol McBride.
Okay.
So I do actually still have it.
Yeah.
And like you can see, I've gone through and I've highlighted stuff.
Yep, that was me underlining. Yep, reading.
So it seems I only got to chapter 8.
You got some reading to do, ma'am.
Yeah. So I will finish reading that. Yeah, that definitely helped a lot in regards to my mother and feeling good enough for, well, literally anyone. Yeah, and honestly, get as far away from the Bible as possible.
Unless you're Steve, who has never been happier.
Unless you're Steve. Like, I do have to admit, I still have my Bible. It's up on the top of a bookshelf. It's got like an inch worth of dust because I think, you know what? I can show my kids that later and be like, I was so involved in this religion. Like, I don't want you to be involved in this one in particular. You can go out and choose later. But you know what?
Wait until you're 18 at least. Maybe 21 or until your brain's fully developed.
Yeah, 100%. Because that's a big thing for a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And especially if it's fear-based doctrine, that really...
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's not healthy for a developing kid.
So yeah, my daughter asks, why don't we go to Sunday school anymore? I'm like, because I want you to choose when you're older. I said, I don't want you to grow up like I did and have to go. So she understands. She's fine. My son doesn't remember going because he was only 2 or 3 when he stopped going. But yeah, get away from things. Open your mind to different resources. Like I have read a few Joyce Meyer books. Her books helped just before I was leaving.
Okay.
But then I got told her God is a different God to ours and we shouldn't read her books. So, yeah, I was like,
stay in the bubble.
Stay in the bubble, read the Bible, read the Christadelphian books.
Yeah, don't read non-Christadelphian books.
Yeah, how dare you broaden your minds.
It could damage your faith.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, yeah, I'll note them in the resources so other people can continue to find things that might be helpful for them, especially if they relate to your story. Yeah. Any final things that you really wanted to say that we didn't get to? Because we did cover, I think, a good amount of material, but anything in particular?
No, not really. Just go live your authentic life and don't worry about what all those people say, because at the end of the day, they're still stuck and miserable and hating their life. We're out here just being happy.
Yeah, you have autonomy if you choose to embrace it, to make your own choices, even if you're raised to think you don't. So these are all really powerful stories, all these interviews that we've had with people, of them reclaiming their life, choosing what they want to do, and creating their own life after leaving, and being very consistently happy overall with their choices. And going all different directions. Whatever you choose to believe, or whether you choose to continue to read the Bible or not, totally up to you, as long as you're living a more authentic life.
If you choose to continue to read the Bible and believe in God and Jesus, I'm not angry if you do that. That's your choice. But just remember, no one's got control over you except you.
You have to remember to reclaim that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing so much of your story today. I know there were some vulnerable things, but I really loved hearing all of your stories today. I think a lot of it will resonate with our listeners. I so appreciate that you reached out to give me a heads up that there would be spooky stories. So I was very excited.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because I did hear some of the episodes and I'm like, yes, she loves spooky stories.
Yeah, and it's so funny just because it's the opposite of the Christadelphians. When you're dead, there's nothing. And then so many people are like, but what about all the ghosts? What about that haunted house? Like, let's all mention that when we've had these weird experiences.
What about that medium we saw and all these things came out? And Yeah.
And it's funny because that's one other part of the doctrine. It's like, oh, that.
Yeah.
So like even embracing that is kind of deconstructing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. For anyone in Sydney who wants to see a medium, look up Leanne Capri. I believe that's her name. Amazing.
Nice. All right, one more resource for the Aussies.
Yeah, one more resource for Aussies.
All right, so that's all for today. I hope all of our listeners are feeling inspired to live their truth. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you to our listeners for tuning in, and stay tuned for our next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you to everyone who has helped make this episode of the podcast possible. Today's episode was edited by me, Zinnia. I'd also like to thank Al Kroons for creating our intro music and the ex-Christadelphians that submitted audio for the intro music. If you'd like to join our community, you can find us at the group for ex-Christadelphians on Facebook. You can also follow our social media on Facebook and Instagram at Life After Leaving Podcast. If you'd like to come on the podcast, reach out to me at lifeafterleavingpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're enjoying this podcast, please consider leaving a rating and review or sharing this podcast with a friend. That's all for today. Thanks, and see you next time.